because you're losing sleep. People are saying. You
Wait a
did a
minute.
video the other day.
Hold on a second there.
We got to get into the Dr. Bound drama real quick
Hold on a
because.
second. Wait a minute. We're not live yet.
Whoa, whoa, whoa!
Okay, now we're live. Now we're going because seems that there is a delay in when we start the time period. I got to fix that sooner or later there. All right. So what's the problem? Why not? Why are?
All right, so a lot of people are saying that. I mean, you did a video the other day,
Mm-hmm. Yes.
and it said you were saying, you're having issues with your sleep schedule, something like that. And people were saying that, hey, maybe it's because you're staying up late doing these DJ sets that no one watches now. No one watches my stuff either. I'm not saying that as a dig, but people barely watch this music show. Doesn't mean we have to quit doing it, but in this community, people only like drama and wrestling.
Yeah, that's
So,
true.
but
Yeah,
when
but
did you think about that though, Brown? You're going late for these music streams, and it's messing up your sleep. You think that could be the issue, or are you drinking some type of caffeine, tea or Coca-Cola, some type of cola, energy drink? Are you drinking something? Or your diet? I mean, what do you?
well, I drink a
Why
lot
are
of
you
diet
using?
stuff and I drink a lot of Gatorade as well. But the thing is, the reason why I do it at such a late time is because you got to remember, I work till about 10 p.m. I usually get home, have to get things set up to do these music streams. And it takes a while because I want to get everything prepared. I want to get the recording set up to play during the stream. Because I record my sets previous ahead of time, a couple days before, and I make sure that the treble is all right, the bass is all right, everything is. I have an equalizer where I'm able to make sure it sounds perfectly good. And sometimes, sometimes it affects my sleep a little bit. But then again, I've been known to wake up in the middle of the night to either take a piss or something else there and try to get back into bed, and I have trouble getting back to sleep. It's happened to many times in the past.
Have you ever woke up and took in a shit in the middle of the night?
No, not really there, but
Ah.
I know I know where you're coming from there. But the reason I do these streams, obviously, because it's one of my passions. It's part of my art, And besides, as far as not many people watching it, you got to remember that usually when you get done with the stream, the viewerships of that particular clip that you have just done, where it's a set or a music show, that's when the people really start watching after it's uploaded and it's over done. Like if you have about 5 people watching this program right now, chances are when it's done streaming, people about 30 or 25 or 40 people will be watching afterwards.
I think they're like European people that like that techno. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, basically, I do some of these for me, to please me. You got to please yourself before you please everybody else. And when you see you having a good time doing it, then they'll appreciate you. That's what I was told many times in the past. But it would be, but then again, knowing how I like to plug my channel a lot of times when I do these vlogs, I'm trying to gain as much subscribers as much as I can, And a couple of times it has worked when we did our Christmas Eve stream together there at that hotel there. It was a great. What?
Are you trying to gain an audience?
Yes, I'm trying. Well, basically, I'm trying to gain a good audience. I'm trying to be diverse,
So won't you, whenever your next, like tomorrow, whenever next day off is or whatever,
Yes.
go to
What was
Minister
that?
Silver
Silvero. Hello?
What up with my Joe Cronin?
Silvero, what's up, man? What's up, Silvero? How's it going, bud?
Pretty good. We got Redneck here too. He just stopped by.
Good.
what
Good about
happened?
the line.
Y'all stream the other What happened to y'all stream the other night? Was you having technical issues, technical difficulties, or
Me?
no? Silver Roll and all of them went
Oh.
live and made a big group call on Skype.
Oh, really? I wasn't know. I think.
it was off of, I think it was off of Redneck's channel, actually.
Oh yeah, I remember he does have a YouTube channel. I wasn't aware of that. I think Redneck mentioned that to me sometime a long while back there, but I was informed what time it was going to be.
Yeah. Yep.
All right.
Yes, sir.
So how things going, Redneck?
Going good.
That's good to hear there. All right.
Hey, did Tommy come back from Louisiana yet?
I didn't know he went to Louisiana.
Oh, I thought he was there. I thought I heard something. Maybe not. I don't know.
No, it's been a while. It's been a while since I personally spoken to the guy myself there. Hey guys, you ready to be part of tonight's program with our topic for tonight?
We can hang out for a few minutes.
All right.
We got some shit electrical wiring I'm doing down in my my man cave.
I see there. So how's your cousin doing? Is he still the same?
Which one?
Oh, the one that threatened to kill us all.
Which one is that?
Oh, Vikings fan.
Oh, I think he's good.
Yes. Did you ever get it? Did you get a chance to speak to him after he made those threats to YR and Jacob, like he did?
We don't talk much.
All right. So he's still stuck in his little bunker.
You know, kind of introvert.
All right. So, well, so everything is going good for me. Just still working, doing music shows and other techno shows, soundscape shows, and all that good shit there. Heading out, enjoying myself and everything else. Going to places. I just came back today from the Brandon area there, which is not far from where we live. Checking out a couple places. What it?
Brandon, Florida?
Yeah, there's a area called Brandon that's next to the area that we live in.
Is that where Jim Morrison from the Doors, didn't he have like a bungalow there or something? Beach house then?
No, he was in Paris, France when he passed away there.
No, not when he died. I'm saying like when he was alive in the band, like didn't he have a beach house, like bungalow in Brandon, Florida?
Not that I know of, because there's no beach area near Brandon.
Hollywood bungalow. Hollywood, not that.
Remember,
Maybe there's a water buffalo.
remember, he's a California guy. They hail from Los Angeles.
Yeah, what do y'all feel about this band?
Robbie Robinson?
Situation.
What do you mean with Robbie Robinson?
Oh! Do you have a story on that?
Yeah, we got the story of him. Now, for those who don't know who we're talking about Robbie Robinson. He was the guitar player and one of the main songwriters for the group known as The Band, who used to be Bob Dylan's backup band in the early 60s. Him and the rest of the members, including Garth Hudson, Liam Helm, they decided to put together simply called The Band. They released albums like Stories from Big Pink, Stage Fright.
I'm not the
Music
Yes.
from Big Pink.
Yes, it's music from Big Pink.
Music
Thank you.
from Big Pink.
Yeah, thank you.
Remember that?
And
Wow.
I believe
What-
Robbie Roberts.
reach down
Yeah.
between my legs and ease the seat back.
I think Wire's trying to talk.
Brown.
Yes.
Yeah, remember that one? Can you see my reflection? Remember that one?
I think so. You got to do more on the lyrics there. If you're...
All right, hold on.
Okay, go ahead.
Yep. Can you really don't know this one?
I didn't. It's been a while, so I wasn't that much into the band. I remember the night they drove Dixie down.
All right, let me go. Here it is.
All right.
Can you see my reflection in the mirror at midnight hour? Down, 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 down. Remember that?
Oh, perfect.
Who does that? Is that
The
was that the band song Arc?
Yes, it's a deeper cut.
Hey, you know what? You know what group? You know what song I've been listening to a lot lately, man? I can't get it out of my head.
What?
One Horse Town. Have you ever heard that song?
One horse town.
Elton John.
Hmm.
One
Elton
Horse
John.
Town.
Oh, no, John. That's the guy who sings that song.
Elton John.
Oh, it's Elton John. All right,
The
everybody's
small
talking,
town
so it's hard to
where
keep
I
track.
grew up.
Minnesota, you
Yeah,
have
I'm doing what your daddy done.
Minnesota. You got that on what? You listen to it on what? CD or you listen to it on your phone on YouTube?
On YouTube, you know. Hey, and then go, you know, music. Look for the music and shit. Okay.
Uh,
I don't know. It's a pretty good song. I thought it was like a new band, but I fucking they've been around since '70s or something. I didn't know that.
Oh wow.
Elton John.
What was that?
That was Elton John. Arc just
Elton
mentioned.
John.
He's the one that sings that song.
Right.
Yes.
let me look through the rock news real quick. Let me
No,
get a run-
no. It's another group.
Well, he's the one that wrote it and did it first.
Oh,
One Horse Town, right?
yeah.
Did he?
One
Is he-
Horse Town.
I see.
It ain't much.
I think it was
It's
on the Blue
alright.
Movies album.
Ah.
You swallow your pride just to make your family proud. If I didn't think that it would shut the whole place down, I'd ride my pony right out of this one horse town. You guys know that song?
It's actually the first
knew
time I
the
heard it.
I knew the Elton John
One
version. I didn't know there was another one.
I'm an old married man of the age 23. Got two little boys on the baseball team.
Mm.
And that might be their only ticket out. With a worn out name and a daddy that could have gone all the way. But I hung my saddle up and I settled down.
Wow.
I see. Nice.
Tina's
Oh,
Tony
dude,
playing
I love
piano.
that song, man. It's
Wow.
like, you know, it's like so original, you know.
I went and took a shit and I wiped my own ass. So yeah.
When I hit 50,
Oh,
I took a shit. My balls went in the toilet.
Oh, dude.
Dr. Brown, did your
Them
ball?
old man balls. Them old man balls.
Okay,
In the toilet again.
what do I are?
Dr. Brown, does your penis touch the toilet seat when you take a shit?
Oh my gosh, dude, what kind of a question
I
is
got
that,
rinse my
dude?
balls out every time I take a shit.
Okay, so let's get to the main news. Robbie Robinson, the guitarist and chief songwriter for the band, dead at age 80. He passed away at that age earlier today. He's best remembered for his work not only with the band, but also with Bob Dylan in the earlier years of his career, with the other members of the band, of course. He was instrumental in creating the Americana music genre, even though he is originally from Toronto, Canada. He was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, the Canadian Music Hall of Fame. He was inducted into Canada's Walk of Fame, along with the band and on his own.
Come on, buddy.
He's credited for writing The Wait, The Night They Drove Old Dixie Down, Up on Cripple Creek, and had solo hits with Broken Arrow, Somewhere Down the Crazy River, and Showdown at Big Sky from 1986 when his first solo record came out. He was inducted to the Canadian Songwriters Hall of Fame and also received a Lifetime Achievement Award from the National Academy of Songwriters. He's worked a lot with Martin Scorsese, who directed the band's farewell concert called The Last Waltz in 1978. And he continued through a number of dramatic films for the guy, including Raging Bull, The King of Comedy, Casino, The Departed, The Wolf of Wall Street, The Irishman, and Killers of the Flower Moon. And I guess he also had one of the co-starring roles in the movie Carney, also directed by Martin Scorsese, featuring Jodie Foster. And that was back in 1980. All right, I think I remember seeing bits of that movie when we first got cable television, by the way. And from what I understand, I forgot. Oh, yeah, I remember her name. I guess he also had a brief romance with Maria McGee, the singer from the band Lone Justice, who makes an appearance in the video for Somewhere Down the Crazy River. Right?
Nice.
Yeah. And of course, he's no longer with us. As I mentioned, he's dead today at the age of 80. And he will be sorely missed. He also did some work for the movie The Color of Money, also directed by Scorsese, featuring Paul Newman and Tom Cruise.
Did they want to use their pool players? Hustlers?
Yeah, it was a sequel to The Hustler from years before.
Oh.
Yes. Look up The Hustler with Paul Newman from the, I guess, early 50s. And the sequel would come out in 1986.
Mr. Fats, baby.
Yep. Okay, so once again, rest in peace to Robbie Robinson of the band. Now tonight we're going to be discussing bands with a lot of male members in the group, but there's usually one or two females in the group there. And obviously the one that comes to mind usually is two with two females in the group,
What the
Hart
hell?
and Fleetwood Mac. And who's making that noise in the background? Hello?
Hello.
Guess they
Hello? Where's YR? Did YR leave?
I don't know.
No, he's not here, so he'll probably join the call later on. I guess he either had something, he had to take a shit or something like that. Well, when you keep mentioning it, it's going to happen to you.
I gotta drop a dookie.
All right, there. So when we think about, that one standout female of the group, we usually think about they're usually the singers when it comes to Amy Lee of Evanescence, Christina Sabata from Lacuna Coil, or Debbie Harry from Blondie, Susie Sue from Susie and the Banshees. But we definitely got to mention, other bands with all male members with one female, whether it's also the bass player, the drummer, which Motley Crue had for a while there in 2000. Their drummer at the time, Randy Castillo, he was sick on leave. He came in to replace Tommy Lee after he departed. Turns out he had stomach cancer. They had a tour to do for a new album that they put out at that time. So they got Samantha Mahoney, who used to drum with Courtney Love's Hole. Now, I know there was a lot of alleged rumors that her and Nikki Sixx kind of like had this little brief relationship with one another. That's still on the rumor spectrum.
From Motley Crue.
Mm-hmm. And as I was mentioned before we went live, a female bass player from originally whose name escapes me at the moment. She hails from England. She advertised herself a few times on her Facebook page and on Twitter as well. She filled in for the bass player on the recent Merciful Fate tour.
Oh, bright hell.
Mm-hmm. And of course, you cannot forget, Nita Strauss, who's back with Alice Cooper after doing some time with Demi Lovato last year.
Life is better, Miss President. Poison, remember that song?
Which, so that was one of his big hits there. He still plays it live.
Yeah, that was a good song.
It is a good
This is
song, yeah. But could be me and YR, of course. We also prefer the deep cuts like "House on Fire," "Love's a Loaded Gun." I had an album of Coops called "Raise Your Fist and Yell." Had some good tracks on there, like what's the name? I forgot one of the
I don't
titles, but I
know.
remember one was called "Gale" or something like that. "Chop Chop Chop." Bring the radio, give the radio back to the Maniax. Freedom, that was one of his big ones for that record.
Warrior.
Now, Ark, you have any suggestions on this list here? Let's go back and forth.
Nightwish, Floor Jansen, Annette, and I can't pronounce the other one's name.
Annette Holzen, and of course, Tarja Turin.
That was the one.
Yes. Yeah, they had a total of 3 female singers in that lineup. And I guess they're now a 6-piece unit, whereas originally it was a 5-piece unit. More extra sound, more extra volume for their live shows, I guess. I'm going to
And
throw.
you got Fairport Convention, female singer.
Ah. And that was Richard Thompson's band, do I understand?
70s, yeah.
Yes, I remember hearing the name Richard Thompson a couple times in the magazine I used to read back in Michigan called Cream, CREEM. It was on the head offices was not too far located from Pine Dot Music Theater. I was a big fan of that magazine, and I remember reading a couple articles about this guy. There was one video that I saw with me and my best friend accidentally on that when MTV was MTV.
Yeah, in the 80s.
Yep. And I guess he recorded something with his wife. I guess it's called "Shoot Out the Lights." The name of that album was called Richard and Linda Thompson. Yes, that's what it was called. All right. I'm going to throw in 2 women from this well-known group, Fleetwood Mac, Stevie Nicks, and the recently departed Christine McVie.
Landslide, baby.
All right, go ahead, Ark.
Renaissance, Ann Halsam singer.
Ah, Ann Halston, I see there. When you said Halston, I thought it was Annette Halston at first, but I realized it's someone else. And plus, the lady you mentioned, she's a lot older than the ex-singer White Nightwish here. I remember seeing them. There was doing I forgot the name of the show, but it was on the USA Network. And there was spotlight, different bands, local favorites. One of the groups I remember was a band called Witness performing at some club in some unknown town. And Renaissance was one of the bands they featured on that program. Sadly, I don't remember the name of the show that it was on, but I checked it out a lot of times.
They had a lot of good material. They did a song of Sherazade, which took up an entire side of an album.
Wow.
Really good.
Yeah, so these definitely was a prog group, that's for sure. Prog rock.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yep. All right, I got to mention these 2 gals, Ann and Nancy Wilson from the band Heart, who had earlier in their career had a relationship with both Fisher brothers. Nancy was involved with their guitarist, Roger Fisher, and Ann was involved with Roger's brother, Mike, who was the inspiration for their first big hits, Magic Man, for their first record. And Mike, believe it or not, was kind of considered an outlaw in U.S. status because he migrated to Canada to avoid the draft.
Hold the phone. Hold the phone. Hold the phone.
Hmm?
Dr. Earl Brown, hold the phone.
Hmm.
Hello, hello.
I'm here. What's up, Jacob?
Hey, we can't just steamroll over what YR was trying to talk about in the beginning. Hello.
I'm
Wait,
here. You?
Agnolia.
What? So what?
Is
I always
Agnolia here?
Ark. Is he still here? Let me check.
Yeah,
Yeah.
What's up,
I'm here.
Agnolia? How you doing?
I'm okay.
I feel like most streams you're like the odd man out.
Well, I usually always give Ark the chance to speak his mind, because I know, like you said, a lot of people overtalk one another. So what happened with YR? Did you just leave the call out of frustration?
No, I was listening to the show and he was trying to make a point in the beginning of the show before was interrupted by Silver Roll, but
Oh.
I think he left.
Yeah, he did. Wire did leave.
I think he was making a good point, though.
So
I think he was speaking about some of the comments that were being left under your video when you were talking about, how you were doing these music sets late at night, but it was, interrupting your sleep because, you did say you work all day. You do work all day. That's one thing about you. You do work all day.
Yeah.
A lot of people in this community
Yeah,
don't work.
take,
A lot of these
in a
people
fridge all day.
a lot of these people in this community don't work. Like Minnesota, he doesn't work. So respect to you for actually, you do work all day.
Right.
But all right. So you mentioned, these music sets, these late night music sets are interrupting your sleep, right?
Well,
Um,
sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Actually, they really don't.
and then I think both me and YR, we both left comments under your video saying that why do you do these music sets so well? I mean, why in general? Why do you do the music sets in general if it's coming between your sleep? Now,
Well,
you did kind of answer it already. You said that it's kind of like a self pleasure for you, like
and
you
not
like doing it. You
making
like
me
doing it for
happy.
you.
And plus, you gotta remember, I get done with work at 10 p.m. here in Eastern time.
Yeah. Now you did say that, but
Yes.
so you did mention that it's something you like to do, which nobody can hate that. Nobody can hate you for that. That's you like to do that. But you put so much emphasis into saying that like it's interrupting my sleep. I'm up late at night, and doing this and that for the setup for I want to get everything ready for the stream of your set. Now, I'll be honest, I have watched some of your sets late at night, just just tuning in to see what's going on or what the set is about or whatever it is that you do it late at night. I have noticed that a lot of these sets that you do, Dr. Earl Brown,
Yes.
are kind of dark and demonic. I
Mm.
don't know if like in high school you were a emo type of person
No.
or like you were a dark type of person, but it does come off very evil, demonic, and dark, these sets that you do. Like when you say sets, I'm thinking of like a DJ set or a mix. When you say mix, I always think like, oh, like a DJ mix or something like that. But it's always these vibes of like dark clouds, thunder, dark magic, and black and evilness. And I always wonder what that was about. Now,
Well, I
I did,
well
I
well.
did,
Go ahead.
I did. No, go ahead. What were you gonna say?
Well, I got into that genre accidentally. During the time I was in a very throughout the 1990s, I was in a very angry state of mind. I had a lot of resentment, had a lot of hostility inside of me. A lot of people had screwed me over in the past. In a lot of ways, some of these dark sound sets is my way of releasing some of that negative energy. And also keep in mind, all that was influenced by various dark ambient projects. Two in particular, Lull, Lull, featuring Mick Harris, who used to drum for the band Napalm Death. And also a project I definitely got to check out called Lustmord, Lustmord, which, by the way, is German for love of murder. It's one guy hailing from Wales, England. He's put out over 20 albums, about 6 live albums from selected performances he has done. He's also done sound design for movies. He's also did music and sound effects for video games many times. He's a busy dude. He also does a lot of video graphics for his performances as well. And I was always interested in treading into different territories where it's dark, it's murky. And I will say this, when you tread in those territories, you come out braver than what you are years ago. When I first started listening to heavy metal, prior to, actually, let me rephrase that. Prior to listening to heavy metal, when I was a wee kid, there was this Saturday afternoon, creature features that used to come on the TV, and it would have this skull right in the right on the TV screen with some laser behind it. Welcome to our creature features. That would freak me the fuck out as a kid. Then I got into Iron Maiden, Black Sabbath, Judas Priest, bands like Exciter from Canada, a local band called Halloween, Seduce. All that, just changed. Years later, I start wearing skulls on my t-shirts. Though I don't have any of them no more. But you know what? One thing I find that when you listen to a lot of heavy metal music or dark music, you turn out a lot more braver in the end. It's like you're willing to go into territories that nowhere else would go. Not even angels or demons.
Yeah. Yeah, so when you bring up the whole thing about that it's more of a thing for you that you like to do,
yes,
it's hard to argue with you about why you do it in general or why even stay up late at night doing it, because that's the answer. You like doing it. You don't really care about the views or the numbers or any of that. So I think the argument stops there. But I think what YR was trying to say earlier, he was trying to make it a whole drama thing or whatever. I don't think it's that difficult to understand now, since you answered it, that you do it for yourself and whatever. Now, I will say, like I said, it is pretty dark and demonic and very emo type. I've never experienced something like that. Sometimes late at night, I'll put it on and it'll frighten me a little bit.
As far as
it is nice. At least, at least it's making you happy, at least it's something that you're putting effort to, but that you like to do. It's like a hobby kind of thing. Now, it is kind of a dark hobby, but, to each their own. And, I think YR tried to make it about drama, but I don't think there is drama there. I think you just like to do these dark sets late at night.
Yes. Yeah, that's right.
And
I do.
At least you're working all day. It'd be kind of weird if you weren't working all day. It'd be weird if you were just home all day doing nothing, like Minnesota Vikings fan.
Yep.
I
would be bored out of my skull because I got to get up and do something, man. Because I'm an active individual.
You're a unique individual, Dr. Earl Brown.
Thank you. I appreciate that, man.
And I mean that in the best type of way. I think you're definitely a YouTube character. I think most people who are successful at the whole YouTube thing are a type of a character, and you definitely meet that mold. Hold on. What's that?
What was that?
We still have. Oh, YR's back. He has the TV
nice.
up in the fucking
Hey, what
background.
up, YR? Get back, dude.
The great YR.
Is it YR?
Young Republican.
Wait a minute.
Oh no, wait, that's Sky.
I was gonna say, what the heck?
No, that's Sky.
How did Scott get on the call?
Wait, Sky, breaking news. Sky, is it true? Is it true, Sky? Scott, is
If
it
it's-
true what Pro Violence was saying about you recently?
Isn't it?
Hello?
Scott, what's up? Hello, Scott. Hello.
Scott, you there?
All right. So we
right.
have Scott here, but I don't think he can hear us.
All right. So, Jacob, while we're on the subject of bands with a female, one or two female members, what comes to your mind?
wait. Hold on, Doctor.
No.
Scott, are you
I
there?
think that's him there, though.
Yeah, that's him. I hear him.
Hello, Scott. Hello. All right, let me mute Scott for 1 second. So recently, Pro Violence came out with some breaking news that Scott McKinnon was recently arrested.
Huh?
I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know what's up with that. Scott, you are muted. But I did want to ask Pro Violence, but he's an asshole, so he doesn't answer his comments on his YouTube channel. So maybe we can get the information straight from you. Pro Violence recently said that you were arrested. Now, you are muted, but whenever you have the chance, Scott, to unmute yourself and answer the question, were you really arrested recently? That's kind of shocking, kind of breaking news a little bit.
I just finding out about this now.
I don't think Pro Violence would just say that just to say that. And then I did see that Pro Violence released another community post on his channel saying that you and him have been going back and forth. You've been calling him a crack addict. He called you a meth addict. And, you guys were going back and forth, I think, because of the whole him saying that you were arrested, Scott. Now, this is juicy. This is very juicy. I don't know if it's true or not. But, Scott, if you are listening, is it true you were arrested recently? And if you can, for what? I'm going to unmute Scott real quick.
All right.
Wait, can I unmute Scott?
No, let me see if I can do it there.
Okay.
Okay. It says I'm unable to do it. I guess he's got to do it, or you got to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Damn it. Yeah, he's got to unmute himself. But
Yeah,
man. So I was like shocked when I saw fucking Pro Violence say that on his YouTube channel that Scott McKinnon was recently arrested.
Really?
Now I'm curious as to what for.
I do not know myself. I'm just finding about, like
Yeah,
I said,
no,
I
that's
just found out about this
that's made
myself.
What, Scott?
that's made up.
Really?
Said it's made up.
Why would he make that up?
Because he's pro
Why
V.
does he make up anything? He said the other day that Ken and his wife hit him up for money, that he's lent Ken and Shannon money for that, bro. So come on.
Oh my gosh.
Now, Pro Violence did once say that he sold a TikTok video for $10,000.
I was
Exactly,
going to bring
that's the
that
other one.
up.
Yeah, the famous TikToker making 10 grand a video over here, still stuck in YouTube, right?
Oh gosh.
Yeah, so it's hard to really believe what he says. So that's why I wanted to ask you directly. But
Yeah, no, Ken needs to get a restraining order on that guy, I think.
no, Pro Violence is a few screws loose, and he's a weirdo. He definitely
few?
is a weirdo.
He might be the biggest one in the entire community, to be quite honest.
What have you been up to, Scott? What's new with you?
Just get out of jail.
Okay, so Scott, interesting. We got me, Arknoia, Jacob RP here, discussing bands with one female member in the lineup. Anyone comes to mind?
Which is the lineup?
Well, usually it could be from either Hard or Fleetwood Mac, Jefferson Airplane / Starship, but there was a group with two female members within the group, the band Toronto. You remember that group?
No, I don't think I do.
Oh, I remember they had this hit song in Canada called "Your Daddy Don't Know." And for I understand, they were the ones that originally did What About Love before the band Heart got a hold of it.
Daddy don't know, I'm just a little. Is that the one?
Daddy don't know. Da 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 da. You got definitely look it up on YouTube. I guess it's one of the Canadian rock classics there.
Apparently, Robbie Robinson, I think his name is, died
Yep,
today.
yeah, dark, right. Yes, we were discussing that moments ago. Robbie Robinson with the band and Bob Dylan's old backup band. He
Someone
died
just
earlier
told me
today.
that. Yeah.
Yes, and we were reading about it in on the Wikipedia about him. He was inducted to the Canadian Writers Hall of Fame there.
Yeah. You know, my uncle's band, they beat out April Wine in a battle of the bands in my hometown when they were younger, but the band broke up, so they gave the contract to the runners-up who were April Wine.
Yes, and they came up with some damn good music.
They did, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely there. All right, so Ark, say hi to Scott there since he's on the call.
Ark? Spice Girls for life. Yeah.
All right there. I know Ark is sitting. I just wanted to say a couple of things there. What you got? Anything you wanted to add to the conversation, Ark?
Well, I don't know anything about the community or anything like that. I don't keep up with it.
So about the community, guys, Scott, I don't know if you've noticed, but this shit's been quiet for like a month now. Like,
well, everybody's found Jesus, so.
This community has went quiet this past month. Nobody went live until Ken went live like 2 days ago. But wow, like things are bad now.
I just don't understand why YR blocked me for a week after I called him, and then now he's unblocked me again.
Yeah, YR actually called me today after me and him have been going back and forth the past month. So he's a pretty weird guy. So I don't understand YR sometimes. I actually left the community too for the past month and a half. I felt the negative energy in the air here, and I was just like, you know what, fuck it. Like nobody wants to be a part of the shows. Nobody wants to accept calls anymore. Nobody's around anymore. Like things are bad now for this community. It's literally not the same anymore.
Is this a community show or a music show?
No, well, this is a music show. But
it's a music show for the community, basically.
Sometimes it does turn into a community show, and YR likes to stir the pot and bring up drama. But now I'm here, and I like drama too. So but it's just weird how. Bro, for the past whole month, just no shows, no streams. Ken's never around. Dave disappeared. You disappeared.
Do you know that Spartan King is Midnight Donkey?
How do you know?
What?
Found out. And he made an account of YR with his address yesterday, and then he made an account of me.
Spartan King of Texas?
Correct.
Wow.
Yep.
I mean, that's not too surprising because, I mean, by the way, the interaction went with me, you, and him that night, like, it's... I can understand why he would do that. The way he talks to people, the way he yells at people.
Well, he gets you out of your element, right? And then and that's where he thinks he wins, when he can get you triggered or whatever. But it's like, I don't think he realizes how crazy he is, though. He doesn't comprehend himself. Like, he thinks he's in the right. Like, he's just a troll on here to like dish it out to everybody that deserves it, or something, some kind of like social justice warrior of some sort, or some kind of anti-hero. That's what he believes in his head, but he makes up all this shit in his head. Like, he thinks people are doing shit they're not, especially me, man. He talks about me everywhere, and it's fucking insane. Like, he might be the biggest stalker I've ever had. He might be worse than anybody. It's weird. This guy's very weird, man. He thinks like everything is me, or I don't even know, dude, like what his game is. Like, I believe at times he's making accounts and he's talking to himself and telling everybody it's me. Like, that's how severely insane I think this guy is.
Yeah, Spartan
He's
King
not.
of Texas is definitely a crazy lunatic stalking maniac. He likes to yell. He likes to scream at the top of his lungs.
It's definitely not
He,
normal. And when you call him out on it, like, he just goes with the, I'm just a troll. Like, I know how to get a rise out of people. Like, he goes with that because that's his fallback. Like, when you start exposing what he actually does, and he starts to maybe even, he doesn't like being called out for what he is, which is a complete sociopath. And a lot of trolls are like that. They don't like that. And then they fall back on, well, I'm just trolling. You're the idiot. I'm just getting a rise out of you. I'm just clowning you. But that's just an excuse for their behavior being weird. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Yeah, no, he's not a normal, just, he's not, like, I would even say, like, YR's a normal, like, troll. You know what I mean? Like, he's not, I don't think he's a sociopath or anything. Spartan, I do.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
there's a difference.
Spartan makes fucking YR look like a fucking saint. Like, I
Yeah.
mean,
For sure. There's a difference. And it's easily recognizable when you're coming on calls over people that you've watched and stalked for years, and you're like hyperventilating and like out of breath, and like the way he was on those calls was fucking weird, man. Scary.
Wow. All right,
Doc,
so
you still there, Doc?
I'm still here. Is Ark still here, man? Arknolia?
Yeah.
Yeah, good here. All right, so since all right, so we should probably throw in the Grace Slick from Jefferson Airplane and Starship, who is since retired. You know, 'cause she figures that nobody wants to see an 54-year-old woman on the stage anymore. She decided, you know, when she reached that particular age, it was time to quit and hang it all up. And of course, we cannot forget somebody else. I forgot her name. Oh, Sue Sad. Sue Sad. SAAD. She had a band in the 80s called Sue Sad and the Next, and they wrote this song called Prisoner, which will later be covered by both Sheena Easton and Uriah Heep. Definitely look it up, Ark. It's a pretty good song there. And of course, you cannot forget Missing Persons, Dale Bazio. The song, What Are Words For When No One Listens? That, Mental Hopscotch, Walking in LA. I hear those songs frequently a couple times at my workplace here, especially Words. That was a massively big hit. Oh, Destination Unknown. I remember hearing that on Classic Numbers back in Houston. And what's going on in the background there?
How's the wife and kids, Arknolia?
Hmm?
How's the wife?
Hmm? Ark?
Arknolia.
You there, Ark?
Yeah.
Oh,
How's everything good?
Everything's fine.
Good stuff.
that's good to hear.
Now, when Joan Jett left the Runaways, isn't her band pretty much male?
Yes, exactly. Joan Jett and the Blackhearts.
Right.
And if I understand now, Courtney Love's has a new lineup of her band Hole, in which she's the only female. Whereas in the past, there was only a bunch of females and one male member.
And Lita Ford plays mainly males, right?
Exactly, yes. And I guess the drummer, his name is Bobby Rock, who used to drum. I guess he drummed with I forgot what he used to drum for. I think it may have been. I think he used to drum for the band Slaughter, if I'm correct.
And if you want to go way back, there's a group called the Honeycombs that did a song called "Have I the Right to Hold You?" That they had a female drummer, and this was in the early '60s, which was highly unusual at that point.
Yeah.
And of course, Karen Carpenter was a drummer with the Carpenters.
Yeah, that's right there. Oh, we also got to throw in Maureen Tucker from the Velvet Underground, Lou Reed's old band. She was, I guess, a drummer, a percussionist for that group.
And Jeff Beck used a female bass player for a long time.
Yes, I remember you showed me.
And I forget her last name.
But she was, I remember you showed me that clip one time through Gmail, and she is a phenomenal bass player, really phenomenal bassist. Now, there was also the bass player from the band Smashing Pumpkins, Darcy somebody, I forgot her last name. You know, she was a member until about up until about 2000. No, I guess she left in 2000. And I guess they got the former bass player from Hole, Melissa Affador, if that's how her last name is pronounced. She was briefly in that group for a short while before they disbanded that same year, 2000. I guess they were unable to compete with all the pop singers and boy bands and girl groups that were out there, so they decided to hang it up for a good couple of years. Now, Corgan, as you know, who is also the chief president of the National Wrestling Alliance, it's now an all-male lineup of the Smashing Pumpkins, by the way. And let's see, we cannot forget, I don't know this woman's name, but she's the drummer for Kid Rock's Twisted Brown Trucker Band. She was on earlier those records like Rebel Without a Pause, Cocky, other records just as well. She definitely deserves a mention there. Oh, we cannot forget Sheila E., who was part of Prince's band for a couple years during the later part of the 80s.
Yeah, I was trying to think of others.
Yeah. All right, so I guess it's about. I guess how much of a show did we did? Let's see, how much time do we have? I guess we did about
almost an hour because you started early.
Yes, we did. I got the call from missed call from YR about 6:30. I guess he wanted to start the show ahead of time. And of course, as you know, everything just felt just kind of. We didn't expect RP to come on the call, let alone Scott. But at least
Right.
RP wanted to get his questions in. I was able to answer them correctly. Yes, I am a dark individual when it comes to arts and music and all that. But then again, there were a lot of circumstances that pushed me towards that direction. So, for those who is unable to cope with it, sorry, Charlie, but that's how it goes.
Oh, on the TV themes, I thought of one we didn't mention. MASH.
That's right. Did we ever did we ever mention that on our TV theme music a couple weeks back?
Nope.
Oh, crap.
No, that's why I mentioned
Suicide
it now.
Yeah, you know what? Who was the person who composed that song?
I'm not real sure. I don't think they ever played the words on the TV show, but they did in the movie.
Yes, I remember hearing that. And I guess some people who have lost friends, partners, relatives from suicide, they had an issue with that song because of the line, "Suicide is painless. It leaves many changes."
Yeah.
When we all know that is absolutely not true. It does leave a lot of pain. I mean, I should know. I lost 4 people that were dear to me from suicide. I mentioned that to SC a couple of weeks ago there. All right.
Okay. what do we want to do tomorrow night?
I don't know what you in the mood for. You know, we got so many options on Thursday nights. It's hard to keep track. But then again, you gotta remember, I only have 2 days off each week there. So if I had it was a 3-day weekend, then definitely we could do all that. But you know, unfortunately, I'm committed to my job, which I love very much. Thank goodness.
Well, I guess we need to stick with TV since we haven't done many of those.
Yeah, it's true there.
Hey, did YR come back?
No, he never did.
Wow, he must have gotten in trouble with his father or something. I don't know.
I don't know.
Scott left?
Yeah, Scott left also just as well.
Wow, like we haven't heard from Scott in quite a while.
Yeah. Interesting.
So I haven't spoken to anybody in the community or had a conversation in the community about, my show ending, Chaotic Behavior Podcast.
Yeah, I heard about that. What happened there?
So, I haven't fully given an explanation. I haven't talked to anybody, but this is my time to speak about it.
Go right ahead, man. You got the floor, dude.
Yeah, so...
The mic is in your hands.
So basically, I don't know, for some reason... I don't know, everything just came to an end. Everybody stopped taking calls. Nobody's around anymore. And part of the podcast is, involving people in the community. And so me and YR, we would do shows together and on the StreamYards because, I couldn't use Skype anymore. And the biggest line of communication for us with people in the community was Skype. Mm-hmm. And it came to a point where, I lost Skype. I couldn't use my computer anymore. So I ended up using StreamYards, which StreamYards is pretty cool. It is a pretty cool, application to use. The only problem is, not a lot of people in this community use StreamYards. And a lot of people in this community don't have the patience to click 3 buttons to actually go into the call, because that's all it takes. 2, 3 buttons and you're in the call. And then I just have to I have to accept you and bring you onto the call, and that's it. You're on the call. So, when we first started the show, me and YR, it worked. The people in the community were still around. People were taking calls on Skype because, we were using Skype. Yes. Now, the magic that me and YR had was that, YR does this thing where he'll create a call and add everybody, add the whole community. And when you add people on Skype, to a call, it's easy. People who use Skype, which is 99% of the community, they see it, and you just gotta you gotta press one button and you're on the call. Join call, and that's it. You're on. People like Ken, people like Dave Rose sometimes, Scott in the end. The big names, the big dogs, the quote unquote big dogs in the community. Even you sometimes, Dr. Brown, yes. SC Steve. So that was basically the show. That was the show basically where people would call in or accept a call and call in, and we go from there. And that was the biggest praises that I ever got, about the show. That, this was a great show. You had all the big dogs. You had Ken. You had this guy, that guy. Oh my God, chaotic behavior. It rules, because we had all the people calling in. But, once I lost Skype, I think that was the end, because nobody would join StreamYards. I don't know why. Nobody knew how to use it, or StreamYards is still new to a lot of people where they don't understand the function of it. Now, so basically, towards the end of the era of chaotic behavior, things did get a little stale. I think the reason for that is because, me and YR and sometimes SE Steve, we would actually go live a lot, every day sometimes.
Yes, I remember.
Most of the times, I'll admit, most of the times YR would ask me, "Hey, do you want to go live?" And I would say, "Yeah, fuck it, why not?" But I feel like that was kind of like a curse to that show because, when you go live every day, the more and more you go live every day, the less and less you have to talk about, unless things are happening in the community. But then that's the kicker. A lot of things haven't been happening in the community. Nothing's been going on in the community. Like, like there is no drama anymore. There is no even fun anymore in the community. Like, people are barely around. People are barely interacting, or Ken stopped calling into shows. Dave stopped being around, and all these people. So like, it was just a big storm of just bad things happening. Where like even today, I said when Scott called in, I'm like, wow, like the community for the past month, besides you, and besides that one show Ken did. Mm-hmm. There's literally been nothing happening in this community. Like, even Blonin sent me a message through Skype saying, wow, the community's dead. I don't think it's ever been this bad. And it's true. I mean, and listen, why we're even talking about this, why is it even a big deal? Is because to a lot of us, it is a big deal, this community. At one point, this community was the coolest thing happening well, for us, this small portion of people. And a lot of us still to this day still care about the community because we created, well, a lot of the big dogs created a lot of memories and fun times. And, it was great being a part of this. Like, especially when the Joe Cronin era was still going around, like, he was still part of this too. Like, going back to Monetize's 70 or 60 or 80, whatever number you guys were a part of, like, like, this community at one point was hot in a good way, like, good, hot. Like, there was drama, there was fun, there was characters, there was fights,
there was conversation, interaction.
There was a conversation, interaction. Literally, the two most important things literally the two pillars of this community was conversation and interaction. Once chaotic behavior lost those two things, that's when things got bad. That's when things got stale. Towards the end, it was just me and YR talking to each other. And listen, I like the guy YR, and I think he likes me too. Like, I think we worked well because we're both kind of like shitheads, drama guys. But even talking to YR every day, all day, kind of gets stale sometimes. And especially when there is no drama or interaction or conversation. So once those two things went out the door, that's when the last legs of chaotic behavior were starting to crumble. Because that's what made Chaotic Behavior Podcast. Chaos, conversation, fighting, back and forth, interaction between names that you never thought would interact with each other. Like, one day we had fucking Leah and YR talking to each other. We had some rare conversations.
Tommy and C 2010, he was on the show.
Tommy
Ken.
and C called in. Fucking Ken. Joe called in. Fucking.
All was missing was JB.
All was missing was literally JB. That was the only person missing.
I missed Mars. That dude, that's for sure.
We had Mars. We had Nikki Nines at one point. We had everybody, literally everybody.
Yeah, this was the new place to go, believe it or not.
Exactly. But that was because we had conversation and interaction. But, I guess people grew out of the community or whatever. Mind you, a lot of the people that are involved in the community are older. Now, the point of me saying that is that once you get older, you start to care less of internet shit or like little hokey pokey stupid comedy shit. Like the community it was very immature. And in this community we do have like 90% of like people who are over 30 or 40. And like I feel like eventually people grow out of stuff, especially once you get older. It's easy to just stop caring about certain shit. We all got our lives to live. Everybody has their shit going on, personal lives, jobs, kids,
Family,
families.
everything. Yes, you got to
You
keep that
know,
in mind.
why me and YR stuck around for so long is because we don't have any of that. Kids, careers, busy careers, or for the most part, families, kids, families. Like Ken is barely ever around because he has his things going on with his family and kids and moving and
His
stuff.
job, yes, his studio
Me
that
and
he's building.
YR, the reason why we work too is because like we didn't have any of that, coming in between us or whatever. Like, so basically, like it's unfortunate, but it was fun the times we had. But it is very unfortunate that chaotic behavior met its demise because there was just no interaction from anybody. Scott disappeared, Dave disappeared, Ken disappeared, fucking all these people disappeared. And that's what made Chaotic Behavior Podcast. And, and I kind of got tired of talking to YR every day. Sometimes you get tired of YR being up your ass asking you if you want to go live every day, and
Yeah. Yeah.
it's just
He
very
actually,
unfortunate. It's very unfortunate
he
also
actually hit me
because
up earlier this afternoon saying if I wanted to go live doing a community drama show, but I was with my sister at the time. You remember once a week, me and my sister hang out to go places, like explore different areas. Like possibly next week we'll probably explore another area, the area that we lived in. Like I know we explored downtown Tampa. We may check out Brandon, because she's yet to even check out the place herself there. Because we're
yeah,
busy
so
with
like
lives and everything else.
like it's just very unfortunate, but chaotic behavior just came to an end, and we tried to go as long as we could, but it's just the conversation got less and less in this community. People disappear more often, and that's what made the show. And and also, YR and I got into it. Me and him always get into it every other few months or whatever, and then YR starts to miss the chaos. YR is literally the straw that stirs the drink. Without YR, there is no show, basically. I mean, for me, like, the reason why I even created Chaotic Behavior Podcast was because I wanted to create a new platform where, all the people that are blocked in every other community or show or whatever can interact with each other.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I guess I still had the numbers. My show still reached 30 viewers per show, fucking 40 viewers per show. But like the people that were calling in the beginning of the show stopped calling in, and that kind of like bored me too. Like I've kind of got like sad about that, or like just like I kind of just did not like how everyone just disappeared, and it just made me less and less interested, like, and it's just very unfortunate because I really thought chaotic behavior could live on and carry the community and carry the entertainment. But I think my biggest mistake was depending on the callers to call in and on the chaos of other people. I feel like that was my biggest mistake, was depending too much on chaos involving other people, or content depending on other people. If I really wanted to do a great show, I would have created my own content, carried the show my own way, and made it interesting or fun or whatever. But I feel like also, to be honest, I felt like I don't really connect. I never really connected with a lot of the people that called into the shows. It was really YR, the magnet. He was the gravity that pulled all these names in. Like I never really interacted really well with a lot of these people. Mars, Ken, Joe. Like if it was me and YR, that's different. It could be two shitheads talking shit, having fun. But if it's just me, like I never really had that connection with them as much as YR did, because YR goes way back with these people. YR has been part of this community since the beginning, and I feel like I feel like I should have done my own thing with my own route and my own content, and maybe created my own name, and maybe created new connections with new people. It's just, maybe one day in the near future, chaotic behavior can come back, and
Yeah.
maybe I'll name it something else, because I don't want to have to live up to that name of chaotic behavior. I only named it that because this community, most of it was that chaos, chaotic behavior between people yelling at each other, going back and forth, characters.
Yes.
And
Go ahead.
for a long time it was
Ah,
fun.
nice.
For a long time people loved it. People loved the content. People loved the shouting matches.
Yep.
But once the shouting matches stopped and the people stopped calling in, that's when things kind of got stale. And like, hopefully, hopefully in the near future it can come back. I still have the fucking name. I'm still here. It's just that there's literally nothing going on in this community. And then, like, I feel like a lot of us did kind of depend too much on Ken, because I feel like Ken got a lot of heat, way too much heat for not being around. Uh, uh, and I don't think Ken deserved that, because Ken did carry the community for a long time after the JCS split. Like, after
Yeah.
that split, he carried his community for a long time. Then Dave did. Dave also carried the torch, but then he disappeared. So then I came into the picture. But I just feel like, what also I think killed the show, not killed the show, but like made it stale, was going live every day. I
Yeah.
think when you go live every day, you have that pressure of, you have to do something
Yeah,
interesting,
it's
or
true. I'm glad you brought
have
that up. The best thing to do is have it on one day or one night a week. So that way, because when you have things going on every day, it's gotta. Next thing you know, the material's gonna wear out. You gotta jump the shark, as they say in TV land, and it's sooner or later it's gonna get stale. It's gonna get boring. It's gonna be like, what the hell is this? Of course, that's what the people are
exactly,
gonna exactly, and
exactly,
you cannot do
exactly,
that. And you gotta
exactly.
remember that
That's
the show you do now is gonna be better than the last one, and that pressure's gonna weigh on you thick and thin. It's gonna really be a weight on your shoulders. And the best thing to do is keep it one night or day a week. That's
yeah.
the key thing. Like me, I know me and Ark. It's best that we do our music show once a week. Whereas back in 2020, when we first started, we were doing stuff each day, almost 5 times a week there, Monday through Friday. But we had different subjects, ranging from movies to TV, music, and a recap at times.
See, the best thing about doing a music show is you have a certain niche. You have a topic to go off of.
Yes.
With music, you can do countless shows of different topics,
Mm.
like you guys always do. How
Yes.
many bands have a girl in it? How many bands from the 90s, 80s,
Genres.
70s, different genres, different type of bands. See, that's the one thing that can have you go on forever, when you have one topic to go off of, to bounce off. You know, my character of me, Jacob RP, I never really found my niche, or my go-to topic. Like, Joe is wrestling. He can
Yeah,
do
true.
countless shows on that shit. Reviews. He can talk about wrestling topics, breaking news. That can carry a show. But when you do talk shows, which was basically what chaotic behavior was, is a talk show between characters of a community. But when you go live every day, and then not really having like all right, so we weren't really a sports show. If we were a sports show, I could do sports every fucking day, review sports, talk about Team USA going on right now, basketball. Like, I could have carried that. I could still do it. But that's the point. Like, that's also what killed chaotic behavior, is not having a foundation of what we're bouncing off of. Like, are we wrestling? Are we music? Are we sports? Now, if I would have made that foundation clear, we could have kept the show going, and not just be every day. Oh, what's up, YR? What are we talking about today? Like that can get very stale, very boring, and that's exactly what happened. What's up, Scott?
Ah, Scott's back. What's up, Scott?
Scott.
And he's muted right now.
Yeah. So it is good to know that Scott is doing well. He's in one piece. He's still human. Um, that whole post about that fake news that pro violence sent out was pretty alarming and pretty scary because no matter what people say about Scott will always be someone we all care for in some type of capacity.
Yeah.
Like if something were to happen to Scott, God forbid, we would all care because we all spent years and years of involvement of this community. We all spent countless nights together talking, watching these live shows and stuff. Um, monetize this, Ken's shows, Joe's shows. Like we all created a giant bond here, no matter what. So it is. I think we're always gonna be connected, all of us, no matter what. Like no matter where we go, like we can go to a different community and call ourselves something different, like Arthur or something, but we're still gonna be connected to this community no matter what. So
no matter what.
I
yes,
did
that's
just
true.
get out though. I mean, I am on the prison bus, so.
But it is nice to hear that Scott's doing well, and Dr. Earl, you're still doing good and
Yep.
well.
Mhm.
And,
Yep.
it is nice also not to whatever, but like it is nice to know Ken's doing well too. He just recently went live. He didn't go live for like a whole month, so like it is nice to know that he actually brought Connie Chris back. He brought Filthy back. Unfortunately, he brought Mello back, but nah,
You
man,
know,
it's,
you
it's
and Dave don't care for Mel. I know that for sure.
it's nice to know Ken's doing good. I mean, he was happy. He was reviewing MMA. He's doing his thing. So shout out to Ken.
Yeah.
Shout out to Scott for being well, and
Nice. All right, there. So, I think it's time we close out the show. There, it's about 8 p.m. here. I know Ark's in. So, what are we doing for our TV show tomorrow? There, Ark.
Well, we talked about doing a kind of a overview of the comedy monster movies, Addams Family and the Munsters.
All right, we could do that if you like.
Yeah.
The new Munsters that also came out just as well. How about this one? I think I got an idea. How about syndicated programs like Sheena, based on Sheena, Queen of the Jungle? Star Trek, The Next Generation, that started out in syndication, and that became a worldwide success when it came out. The New Monkeys that came out in the 87, at the height of the Monkeys' success, or rebirth, needless to say there. Or better yet, like Fame, the TV series, that started out on NBC, and that later became a syndicated show and lasted for years after that. We could do that if you like.
Oh, okay.
Okay, or better yet, let's do both subjects. You have your subject, I have my subject. We'll definitely do that tomorrow night. How does that sound?
Okay.
Okay, it's well on. All right, so Scott, you'll be tuning in tomorrow night for our TV